What's up, Delicious Faithful? Bruce Moore here, the Brutally Delicious Podcast, here to tell you about our friends over at Let's Think Happy. If you've been around with us for any amount of time, you know that mental health is near and dear to our heart. We've produced movies about it. We talk about it quite a bit. We're open, honest, and most of our guests are open and honest as well, and it comes up quite a bit. That's why I want to introduce you to Let's Think Happy. Let's Think Happy was formed by Ashley and her husband back in 2018 when they fostered 3 children, all siblings. And in 2020, they adopted them. They could tell right away they had been through a lot of trauma. And without going into specifics, they knew they needed help. So they got them into therapy as soon as possible. But after 7 months, it still didn't seem to be working. Come to find out, they were in the wrong type of therapy. Once they got them into the right type of therapy, the difference was immediate. Ashley had a great idea and she jumped on it. She hired a licensed therapist to create a questionnaire, a skilled web developer to create a website, and the magic just happened. Now, anyone can take their free questionnaire to find out exactly what type of therapy they should go to. And if you're really serious about your mental health, like we are here on the podcast, you're going to want to buy your results. That way you know whether your answers have indicated a mental health condition such as anxiety disorder, depression, bipolar, PTSD, or ADHD, or even more. And for $7.99, you can get your results. Plus, for a limited time, you can get 20% off by using the code LTH20. That's LTH20. Don't stay stuck being depressed or anxious all the time. Go to letsthinkhappy.com and take the free questionnaire. Life is too short not to be happy, so let's think happy. Let's be happy together.
This is Jim Taylor from the band Lenne. You're listening to the Brutally Delicious Podcast.
It was last minute for us too, but I appreciate you taking the time, and we'll make it work. So no problem.
No. It is our absolute pleasure, man.
I know I've talked to Leonard before on the show. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if Rena was with me or if that was maybe it was solo, but yeah, we had a good time talking. So looks like she dropped off. She's in Finland, and I don't know if she's having trouble with her internet today.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So anyway, go ahead, Chris.
Go ahead, Bruce.
I said, yeah, she's in Finland, and I guess she's having a little bit of trouble with her internet. So we'll just
it happens. Yeah.
So, Chris, you want to take it away, or you want me to jump in, or?
Sure. So, because we just found out about this interview, we just got a little bit of information about the band, and I was expecting this like overly sad, melodramatic guy, and you're just like super happy.
Well, there's ways of, dealing as a, I came to terms with it. I have a pretty high bar with anxiety, and it's like, you're not going to help anybody unless you help yourself. So, and one of the ways we deal with that in our writing for the band is actually, this is therapy for us. So it's like how we can write really freaking depressing music, and then we'll go to Chuck E. Cheese, and we'll have, or what's the adult Chuck E. Cheese? Dave and Buster's.
Dave and Buster's, right?
Wait. Hold on. There's an adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Wait, you've never been to Dave and Buster's?
I've never even heard of this fucking.
Oh my god!
Great.
Yeah. So, it's literally like a Chuck E. Cheese, except there's a bar.
Yeah, and great, and actually really good food. And
yeah, for sure.
And they have
my fucking surprise here.
And they also have like
I actually met. Oh, go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I was gonna say they have like the old school Pac-Man games as well as some newer stuff.
1,000%, they do it. And I met. This was years ago. I attended a SummerSlam, and I met. He's now passed away, unfortunately. I met Test. If you guys, there was a WW, and he was there. His girlfriend was Kelly, who was one of the divas, and I think she dated like Jericho at one point or something like that. But yeah, he was super. He's there eating wings, and I went up. I'm like, really? And he's like, yeah. And this is even sadder. He goes, yo, check it out. Benoit couldn't make it. I'm his replacement. They are both no longer with us, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But he was super rad. And I was like, yeah, literally to watch him. I mean, this is a guy that was he looks like Thing from Fantastic Four, and and he's sitting there with the little skee ball, like what?
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to get sidetracked there. I'd never heard of this thing about an adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Listen, you hang with me and Lenny, there's the point. We do that.
Okay, so writing is kind of like a therapy for you then, because like I said, like I read the sheet and I was just like, what's this interview gonna be like? Because like it's talking about so many hard things that I watched the video and I'm like, this is pretty heavy stuff. And then you get on and you're talking about an adult Chuck E. Cheese, and I'm just like, these two things don't correlate.
They don't correlate.
What? Like,
no, not at all.
I'm gone for like 2 minutes, and this is where you guys fucking land immediately.
Yes,
Zarina, I don't know if you have Chuck E. Cheese in Finland, but it's like, do you have Chuck E. Cheese there?
I know, it's a burger place. Hey,
yeah.
We have movies in Finland. Like, I know what a Chuck E. Cheese is.
Why have I heard of that? Okay.
Do you have electricity in Finland?
Come on. Chuck E. Cheese could have been an American thing.
Don't worry. I'm from Canada. I get it all the time. You're from Canada.
Really?
It's really cold there. I'm from fucking Vancouver,
really.
man. It's not cold.
It's not all a boot.
We do have Burger King. We have Taco Bell. We have Kentucky Fried Chicken. Like they're all slowly moving in. So I'm sure Chuck E. Cheese is next.
See,
but is it going to be the adult version?
Dave and Buster's.
Yeah. See, I want none of that. I want something. Rena, what city are you near, or are you in?
I'm in Espoo, which is basically Helsinki. Like, Espoo doesn't mean anything.
Children of Bodom, baby. Absolutely. God bless Alexei, man.
Never heard of him.
God bless Alexei. Yeah.
God rest his soul, right?
Indeed. I saw them. My God, you want to talk about a lineup. Throwdown was the opening band. It was Throwdown, Children of Bodom, Fear Factory, Lamb of God.
Sounds like a terrible bill.
No one was safe.
I don't think Throwdown gets enough respect, though. They're a really, really fucking great band.
I would tour the earth with Dave Peters, and like, the hardcore scene. Like, I'm a big Hatebreed fan, and I would love. I never heard. You were talking about how you're talking to this guy right here, and we write some really sad shit. You talk to a very positive influence in Jamie Jasta. Yeah. And listen how brutal that music is. And I emailed him on Instagram. I don't expect people to answer. Hey, appreciate you. You're awesome. He wrote back, brother, this made my day. And he was like, the fact that Hatebreed touched you in such a way. And I was like, I'm just thinking of the guy with that gap tooth grin and the bandana and perseverance, and I was like, "Oh my God," but yeah, back again. The point, Espoo, Finland. I told Lenny we would have a field day in Scandinavia. We all, Mike and I, the guitar player, we come from a lot of influences, and I'll tell you, Scandinavian death metal is like, oh my God, the melody. When I discovered At the Gates, Dark Tranquility, Entombed, just anything that came from there. And then Bodom, the first song I heard from Bodom was, I believe it was Hate Me. And I was like, God, listen to this. They are playing, again, dark matter, but it was like neoclassical. It was like Yngwie Malmsteen and Bach had a kid. And it was like, oh my God. And then to see them live, Alexei was larger than life. The whole band is incredible. And from there, I discovered Norther, Warman, and it was like, man, there's so much melody. And that's definitely something that hits us in the feels, is to have melody. You can still be sad and have gut-wrenching lyrics, but be like, hey, we're going to do it smiling. So,
yeah, I completely agree. Hey, I suggest you check out Lost Society if you haven't yet, because that is like the best Finnish, up and coming, up that alley kind of stuff.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Okay.
Lost Society. Mark that name.
I will absolutely do that. One of my friends, do you remember a band called Am I Blood?
No, actually, no.
Okay.
Am I Blood?
So,
no.
Am I Blood? Yanny Kerminan. I've gotten to know him over the last 10 years, I think. Just, we've never met in person, but we've had a lot of conversations online. He has this. He sounds basically he's going to get compared to James Hetfield. He has that growl. They sound remarkably similar, but amazing band. And he's got another side project called Silent Parade, which is fantastic. And again, man, you Finns, oh my God, the stuff. Again, it's that Scandanavian. It's oh my God, yes. In Flames, and they have a new side project. That name escapes me, and I just shared it. Basically, yeah. Peter Evers. I want to say it's oh my God, the Halo Effect. They're called, and
okay, cool.
it's basically former members of In Flames and Dark Tranquility formed a band. Wow. And I was like, my God. But anyway, thank you for mentioning. See, Espoo, you see where we go? We've got adult Chuck E. Cheese into Espoo. Where are we heading next?
We never know on this show. We just go down rabbit holes as they come along. So
yeah, yes. If I only get one wish, it's adult Chuck E. Cheese in Espoo.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Man.
No, that's awesome. I love how knowledgeable you are about the music from my neck of the woods. Yeah. So, how's your day going? Like, I don't know what to fucking ask you about.
It's very busy. I work, like I said, when I'm not doing music, I work at a school district. And we had a shipment come in, so I'm doing this in between shipments.
That's hard.
But I'm good.
Sounds good.
Absolutely.
All right, help me out.
Awesome.
So, I'm ready. So, Letting You Down was the first single Chris was, relating.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to be doing the same model as most people are doing now, releasing singles up into the EP? Or are you just going to do?
It seems to be. We think doing EPs is kind of the way. The kind of the way to go. We had enough for a full record, but we're going to release that later. And yeah, it just came. We were like, hey man, we've been working on this 5 years. Let's release this and get it out there.
Okay. So what's the mindset behind one song at a time? I personally like that. I like that. Bruce doesn't like that.
I do.
But I love the one song at a time situation. So what's your thinking behind why you want to do it?
Not to over inundate. To us, every one of those, and this is for any band. I'm not saying we're, reinventing the wheel here. But every one of those, I mean, this took us, for Lenne and I particularly, Lenne has a long history with Morgan Rose and the guys in Seven Dust, and there's a few bands we're very, very close with, and Seven Dust is one of them. Also, now Corey Lowry, who wrote this with us, he's now in Seether. And actually, during the writing sessions, in fact, I was I play wherever they need me. So I do keyboard. I actually do rhythm guitar now with my guys, but also I play electric mandolin. And I wanted to do something unheard of in hard rock, which was something like an electric mandolin. And some of the things you're hearing that sound remarkably like a clean guitar or a synthesizer is actually me playing a mandolin. And I did it with an EBow.
Oh, cool. I've never heard of a mandolin with an EBow before.
I appreciate it. It was something that I remember. So one of my biggest influences is James Hetfield, and particularly the song "Nothing Else Matters." when you listen to the guitar solo and you hear up in the corners, you hear, especially on the second verse, you hear this double harmony guitar. He did that with an EBow.
Yeah.
What is an
That's why
EBow?
you don't hear it fretted.
What's an EBow? Here, I'll show you.
It looks like I knew he had one. Basic, long story short.
With Chris.
Yes. Long story short, you're basically controlling feedback. And it makes it, you're almost controlling it like a violin. And it's quite interesting.
Interesting. I've never heard of one, but I think he's having
there's a band, we're going to go to another Scandinavian country. We're going to go to Norway now. There's a band called Sigur Rós.
Oh, I love that band.
Awesome
Yeah.
band.
So Sigur Rós are famous for using EBows.
interesting.
Can't find my damn EBow. But anyways, it has.
It looks like it's a J shape, right?
Yeah, it's like a kind of like a horseshoe with a flat bottom, and then it creates a magnetic field on it, and you can switch the magnetic field so that when you play a note, it automatically vibrates the string for you through the magnetism.
Correct.
And depending on where you put it on the guitar, it will change how magnetic it is. So if you're right over the pickup, it'll be like wah, and then it has a switch so that you can swap the magnetism so that it goes up one octave.
Like a harmony, like an octaver.
Yeah.
There's actually this show on Netflix called Bullshit, this game show, where
I love it.
You can win without knowing the actual answer to a thing. And Chris, you sounded like that was bullshit.
It's like
you just pulled that completely out of your ass. Yeah,
I used to.
Horseshoe thing.
So I don't know if you guys know this, but I couldn't solo if my life depended on it. So when I was the only guitarist in a band, the EBow was like my favorite trick because they were like, "We need something cool here," and I'd be like, "I can't solo. Where's my EBow?"
Right.
Hey, I want to find out. You guys have Netflix in Finland?
Oh, fuck.
We do.
Wow.
But apparently not all the same content, like that's the thing.
This is like Euro
that you
Trip.
got to do some sort of weird fucking maneuvers to get all the same shows that you get in.
It's like Euro Trip when they say, "Do you have TV here?" It's like, "Yes, Miami Vice, #1 show."
I remember those times though. Dallas, Dynasty.
Dynasty.
All the good stuff.
That's awesome. But Song at a Time, like, again, the point. Song at a Time, and like these took years to write. And like I said, each one of them has a really different identity. And we have a song that actually didn't make the record. And it was, so basically, long story short, Lenny and I we were in other projects, and Morgan, we were in Baltimore. Yeah, because I met Lenny, and he's got through a mutual friend. And Lenny had asked me to record mandolin, and Morgan's like, "Hey, listen, I'm off tour," and this was in between records for Seven Dust. And he's like, "Look, I'm home. Why don't you bring the bearded dwarf here, the gnome, whatever. Bring him down and his tiny guitars, fucking mandolin, and let's do some stuff." And so I had that plane ticket in an hour, and so I live in Pennsylvania. I'm close to about an hour and a half outside Washington D.C. Hopped on a flight. Went down there, and they met. He's like, "Oh, we're going to Corey's," and I said, "Corey who?" And he's like, "Oh, Corey Lowry." I was like, "From Stuck Mojo? Are you kidding?" Oh. And Clint's brother from Seven Dust. So we go to his place, and I'm watching him. He's got an acoustic guitar. So these started out acoustic with electronic drums. And so that was, that's how the writing process kind of started. And like Corey, it was funny watching him tune. And I asked him later, because I have this thing. I like to know my particular role in the band. I like to know how the chord structures are going to be, how we doing the guitar, how we doing bass, okay, let the drummer figure that out with Morgan. You know what I mean?
Right.
In this case, so Steve is the way he hits is very much like Morgan, so it's great. So we're working on this thing, and they look at me. All right, man, you're up. Okay. Again, I'm coming to terms with anxiety. So one of my heroes is Bill Hader. So I just smile and okay, and I'm like, okay, let me tune up real quick. And they said, what do you want on it? And I said, I want delay, I want reverb. That's what I put on my mandolins. And I started this riff. And it was really crazy because, the way Morgan's ears are always listening. So he's on the couch and he's relaying Yankee scores. And then I start this riff and he goes, stop. I'm like, oh, God. And he goes, no, Jimmy, do it twice. Do that one 3 times. Do this 4 times and repeat. Oh, I'm like, okay. So I got to digest that. And then I've got to now perform it and record it. And so we did it. And the song's called Just So You Know. And it didn't make this record, but we just shared it on our Facebook. I'll send it to you guys.
Okay.
And it was really special because it was Morgan and Lenne, and it's amazing. Their voices, so all the backing vocals you're hearing on this EP, that's Morgan. So Morgan, he very much, we are just infinitely grateful. This man not only wrote this with us, he's our good friend, and I hope he sees this. Love him to death. Animosity Tour is killing right now, and talk about a band that you can't get more down to earth than those guys, and we're just so grateful to be even associated, kind of, with what he does. Anyway,
Great.
And like to watch, Lenne and him have a long history together. They've known each other since about 2009. And so they wrote, No Amends, which is that slow ballad, and it's crushingly sad. And that's Nervous Laughter. Sorry. I remember filming the video for that, which is very somber, and it involves the death of 2 particular people in Lenny's life. I don't mean to speak for him, but 2 people in his life that this is the way we deal with this kind of thing. And I remember kind of a lighthearted, somewhat, we were filming the video for No Amends, which we'll get that out there. We were at 2 different cemeteries, one for, God rest her, his mother, and God rest her, Megan, his girl. We're filming this video, and my wife calls. I'm like, okay. And I was like, let me let it go because we're in, kind of doing a thing. She calls again. And I was like, oh, this isn't good. And I called back, and she was like, hi, Jimmy. I'm like, are you okay? She was like, why? She's gone. It was my cat. So I'm in the middle of shooting this thing. My cat's just passed.
Wow.
I'm consoling my wife, and we're sitting there doing this, and we're hitting, I'm hearing the, if only I could hear. I'm like, oh my God. And I remember that night, I'll have to send you some private videos. Morgan was hanging out with us, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to pitch this to Imagine Records. And we're just like, oh my God. And he was like, hey, what time is it? It's 1:30, Morgan. Okay, one more beer. Okay. Hey, what time is it? Well, it's 3:30, Morgan. Okay, one more beer. But this is just us hanging with him. And this is what struck me. And that was now years ago. And it's taken us 5 years to get this out, and I couldn't be more happier. I mean, I'm 40 years old. Lenny will be 42 next month. And it's like, this is the kind of thing that our teenage / younger years, this is what we dream of.
Right.
And it means a great deal. And it's a lot of weight. And really, both of us are just, and our guys, Stevie, Mike, and Robbie, we have a wonderful band. And figuring out these songs has been a pleasure, and we're continuing to evolve. We're constantly reevaluating and being like, how can we be different? How do we, how can we be heavy and be accessible? Like my mother listens, she was like, Jimmy, it's heavy, but it's melodic. And, she doesn't typically listen. I don't want to label ourselves. People are like, well, you've got metal influences, you've got gothic influences. I was like, yeah, we just prefer alternatives. And, we'd like to be, we'll go for, like I said, anybody from anybody. We talked about Hatebreed, we talked about Children of Bodom. I mean, we'd open Muse, anybody. Word to bands out there. We don't care who you are. We just hope you're into, eating out and maybe an occasional IPA. We dig that. So
there's nothing wrong with an occasional IPA.
Occasional, right? At an adult Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes.
I wanted to circle back to the adult Chuck E. Cheese because I'm thinking, is it that adults are allowed to go there and have birthday parties, or is it that the waitresses are topless but are wearing mouse pants?
No. It's not like a Hooters. And there's
What's the point then?
No. But you have really good food. You have good food. You have beer and liquor, and then you can play childish games. So basically, it's a place where you can go be an asshole for a couple hours.
You can play Space Invaders.
Kids are assholes, and we all know that.
Right.
Space Invaders?
Space Invaders after 3 vodkas. Anyway,
I gotta find this place.
I'm sure you have them because we have them here in Richmond for sure.
Well, I appreciate this very positive experience of an interview that we just had.
Absolutely.
We had to ask 0 questions.
I felt like I was mildly, I had to fight it off. I had a mild anxiety thing where I was like, you're talking too much.
No.
But Bruce, you're in Richmond?
Yeah.
Okay, so raised in Northern Virginia, me. I went to college in Hampton, Sydney.
Okay.
And I would party in the Fan quite a bit.
Oh yeah. And I actually worked for VC.
So Okay. I was a competitive fencer and a fencing instructor in college.
Oh.
And I used to compete at VCU quite a bit.
Interesting.
So and not only that, so I had I was at the radio station when I was in college. Now 20 years ago. So 92.1 Tiger FM. They would play a lot of jam band. That's as you know, Virginia had, you've got Dave Matthews, You've got all those jam bands. Keller Williams would play around there a lot. Our station wasn't playing a lot of heavy music. So me and my buddy Andy, we had this show called The Edge. So we would play, I would play 3 songs of Queensryche, Fate's Warning, Metallica,
right.
All that. So a little band called, they had just renamed themselves. They were called Burn the Priest.
Oh, Lamb of God.
And they would become Lamb of God. And I remember this was 2000. So went to a local store in Richmond. I bought New American Gospel. And I'm proud to say the shock to the Union Theological Seminary-based college. God bless it. I'm Presbyterian, so to bring that to a radio station to hear, I was like, and I loved it. It said D. Randall Bly. I was like, wow, he's like a pirate. And
hey,
but
Jim,
to see that,
Jim, yeah. I hate to do this, but we're running right up against time.
Shut me up.
We need a bumper. We need a bumper.
I do need a bumper. I would love to talk to you all day, but we book these every half hour, so I am so sorry, man. But
no, don't be.
Beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for getting our day started off in a positive light. I appreciate it.
You guys got it, man. God bless you. Thank you for having me on. And can I send anything to your Facebook, like demos we're maybe doing?
Your thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Totally.
God bless all of you.
Hey, take care, my friend. Be well.
I'll add you soon.
All right, thanks. We'll see you.
Have a good day,
bye.
dude. Thanks.
Hey,